we're going to move into lesson 5. So this is chapter 3, lesson 5. So we're going to be dividing now. So we've been doing a lot of multiplication. Now we're moving into division. Okay. So if you look, it says, vocabulary start. When one number is divided by another, the result is called a quotient. So the answer to a division problem is called the quotient. The dividend is the number that is being divided, and the divisor is the number being used to divide. So this down here, 3 would be our quotient. That's our answer. So that one on top is our answer. Now this one is our dividend. It's the one being divided by our other number. So it's 240 divided by 80. Okay, 240 is our dividend because it's being divided by our divisor, which is 80. Okay, so now let's go into the real world link. So it says, when you are at rest, it takes about 60 seconds for a single blood cell to travel around your body and back to your heart. And 120 seconds, about how many times does a single blood cell travel around your body and back to your heart? So it says, write the dividend and the divisor and the quotient in the boxes below. So when filling this out, our dividend is our 120. That's what's going to be divided. Now our divisor is 60 because it takes 60 seconds for it to travel back. So we're trying to figure out in 120 seconds how many times it will travel. So if you do 120 divided by 60, that's 2. So it says Camilla's target heart rate should be about 200 beats per minute. So estimate the number of Camilla's heart will beat in 1 second for heart is working at this rate. So I'm going to go ahead and round this to a number that works with 60 very well. Well, 180. So I'm going to change that to be 180, and I know that 180 divided by 60, because it takes 60 seconds for that blood cell to travel back, and that would give us 3. So about 3 beats, because I'm going to do 180 divided by 60, which equals 3. Okay, so let's go into actually dividing with 3-digit dividends. So we're not going to estimate. I know it says estimate there, but don't worry about that. You don't have to do it. Now, we have 351 divided by 9. All right, so we're going to set this up to where we have 351 divided by 9. So our dividend is 351. Our divisor, the one that's dividing the number, is 9. So when you do division like this, all you need to do is go down the list. So does 9 go into 3? No, 3 goes into 9, but we're trying to divide a 9 out of 3. You can't do that. So we gotta go to 35 now. Well, 9 does go into 35 3 times. Well, that would be 27, so I write it right underneath it. So 5 minus 7 doesn't work, so I have to borrow again. So 15 minus 7, that would be 8, and that cancels out, so then we bring down our 1. Okay, so on the next step, we brought our 1 down. Now we have to figure out how many times 9 goes into 81. Well, that's 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81. We're done. We're left with 0. So our answer is 39. So our quotient is 39. All right, the next example is 878 divided by 31. So the dividend is 878. That's the number being divided. The 31 is our number that's doing the division. So we have 878 divided by 31. Well, we can't do it out of 8, so we're going to have to jump to 87. Well, that's going to be 2 times. Okay, so then 2 goes into that, and we get 62. So we subtract. Okay, so 87 minus 62, or 7 minus 2 is 5, 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down the 8. So 31 goes into 258 8 times. Well, that's 248. We subtract, we get left with 10. Okay, so when you have a leftover like this, so when you have no more numbers, we're going to just put that as a remainder 10. Okay, if you have something left over, you just put it as a remainder 10. That's what's left over. So let's jump over a few pages and let's go to page 219. And we're going to do number 1. So it says 174 divided by 6. So 174 divided by 6. So So 6 doesn't go into 1, so we're going to do 17. 6 goes into 17 2 times. That'd be 12. We subtract, we get 5. Bring down the 4. How many times does 6 go into 54? 9 times. Well, it'd be 54. We're left with nothing. So we don't have a remainder in this case. So we just put our answer as 29. Okay, number 2. 453 divided by 8. Okay, so 453 is our dividend. That's the one being divided, so that goes on the inside. 8 is our divisor because that's what we're dividing by, so it goes on the outside. So now we just divide it out. Does 8 go into 4? No. So we have to do 45. Well, that's 5 times. And remember to put it above the number you are actually doing it. Since we're doing 45, I don't put it over the 4. I put it over the 5 because it's out of 45. So then I just, 5 times 8, that's 40. So I subtract. Bring down the 3. Now I have 53. So 8 goes into 53 6 times. 48. So we subtract. And we get 5. Okay, there's our remainder. Okay, we have 5 left over, so our remainder is 5. So your answer is 56 with a remainder of 5. Okay, and one more. Number 3, 645 divided by 43. So 645 is our dividend. It goes on the inside. And our divisor is 43. Well, 43 doesn't go into 6, so we have to do 64. Well, that's only one time. So 43, now we got to subtract. Bring down the 5. So 215 should be 5. So 43 times 5. 15, 20, 21, 215, look at that, right on the money. And boom. So our answer is 15. We don't have anything left over, it's a 0, so no remainder. So 15 is your answer, that's your quotient. Okay, so let's go back, and I want you guys to do A and B at the bottom of page 216. So do A and B at the bottom of page 216, and then pause the video and come back and we'll go through them together. Alright, now that you're back, let's go ahead and do letter A. So 768, let me focus a little bit, guys. Okay, 768 is our dividend divided by 8, so 8's our divisor. So 8 doesn't go into 7, but it does go into 76. So we gotta get as close as we can. Well, that's 9. Because that's 72. So we subtract. We get 4. Bring down your 8. So 8 goes into 48 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. We have a 0. We're done. We don't have a remainder, so our quotient is 96. That's our answer. Now, letter B. 318 divided by 16. Okay? That's our dividend. That's our divisor. So we're going to go ahead and divide this out. I'm going to rewrite it so it's not so small. Okay, 16 doesn't go into 3, but it does go into 31 one time. So we subtract, and you get 15. Okay, bring down the 8. 16 goes into 158. Let's see how many times. Sometimes, guys, it's just a guess and check method. So 16 goes into 158. Maybe. I'm going to do 3 times. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. No. We're going to do 9 times. Clearly, I don't know how to multiply and divide, guys. Sorry. Alright, so 9 times. And then now I do 16 times 9. Oh, that's 54 and 14. So 144. It's as close as we can get. Okay, so we subtract, we get 4, we get 1, that's it. If this number is bigger than that number, you know you've done something wrong. Your remainder should never be bigger than that number that you're dividing by. If you have a number, so this is 14, that's not bigger than 16. If you get one that's the same or bigger, you've done something wrong, you need to go back and fix it. Okay, so in this case, our remainder is 14. So our answer is 19 with a remainder of 14. So that's how those work. Alright, so now, doing the same thing, but in this case we have 4-digit dividends. So in this case we have 6,493 divided by 75. So you're still doing the same thing. Nothing changes. It's still the same steps, but in this case, it's just a bigger number. Okay? So here they did 6,493 divided by 75. It doesn't go into 6, it doesn't go into 64, but it does go into 649. And they found that was 8 times. So 8 times 75, well, that's 600. You subtract, you get 49, bring down your 3. Well, 75 goes into 493 6 times. Well, 6 times 75, that's 450. So then they subtract, they get 43. If you notice, this number is still smaller than that number. So they're good. They know they did it correctly because the remainder is now 43. So your answer is 86 with a remainder of 43. Okay, number 4, same thing, nothing changed. So the average person has 1,460 dreams a year. What is the average number of dreams a person has each night? Okay, so how many days are there in a year? Well, that's 365 days. So that's how you gotta look at it. So we're gonna do 1,460 divided by 365. So they've already set this up for you. So if you look, 365 goes into 1,460 times 4 times. Well, 4 times that, same thing, no remainder. So the average number of dreams a person has each night is 4. Okay, so all you're doing right now is division. If you have a remainder, you put it. If you don't have a remainder, you don't have to put anything because you're maxed out. So let's do a couple examples with 4-digit dividends. So let's go back to page 219. So number 5, we have 8,090 divided by 62. Well, 62 doesn't go into 8, but it does go into 80 one time. So 1 times 62, we subtract. That doesn't work, so we got to borrow. That'd be 8, and that'd be 1. Well, that doesn't work, so we got to bring our 9 down. Now we got to figure out how many times 62 goes into 189. I have a good idea that it's going to be 2. So 62... Actually, it's 3. I was wrong. 3 it is. So 3 times 62, that's 186. Sorry, guys. Subtract, get 3. Bring down your 0. Okay, so now we have 30. Well, that doesn't work. So our remainder here, our remainder is still smaller than that number, so that's what we're left over because we can't go any further. And we're going to put a 0, because we can't do the 0 times 62. That's 0, so we subtract, still get 30. 130 remainder 0. Because we're out of numbers. We've maxed out. We can't bring any more down. Okay? So let's do number 6. 2,480 divided by 31. Okay, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So we're going to have to go all the way over here. So 248. So 31 goes into 248 8 times. Well, that's 248. So we get 0, 0. Well, that's 0. 31 doesn't go into 0, so the only number that works there is 0. Well, we subtract, we get 0 left over, so we have no remainder, so your answer is just 80. Okay, number 7. 5,780 divided by 34. That doesn't work, but it does work for 57, so I'm going to do it one time. Bring it down over here, so I'm going to subtract. Okay, that doesn't work, so I can bring my 8 down. So 34 goes into 238 7 times. Okay, so that's 7 times, so let's go ahead and multiply that out. 34 times 7, 28, 21, 23. So 2 thirds, look at that. Subtract to get 0. Well, we gotta bring another 0 down. Well, that's 0 again. Okay, so your answer is 170. So that's how those work, guys. Alright, so let's go back, and I want you guys to do C, D, and E on page 217. So pause the video again, go through C, D, and E, and we're going to go through them together. Alright, now that you're back, let's do letter C. I'm going to do it up here. So 4,321 divided by 56. Okay, so it doesn't work for 4, doesn't work for 3, but it does go into 432. So 56 goes into 432 7 times. Okay, so 56 times 7, that's 42, 35, 39, so 392. Okay, subtract, can't, gotta borrow there, so 40, bring down the 1. So we gotta figure it out for 401. Well, if you look, 7's gonna work out perfect again, because it's 392. So we subtract, gotta borrow again, so we get 9, 0, 0, so we're left with 9. So our answer is 77 with a remainder of 9. Alright, letter D now. So we have 8,465 divided by 91. Doesn't go into 8, doesn't go into 84, but it does go into 846, 9 times. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. So we get 9, 81, 819. Okay? So 819, we subtract. We got to borrow, so we get 7, 2. So 27. Bring down the 5. So now we got to figure out how many times 91 goes into 275. Well, that's 3 times. So 91 times 3, that'd be 3. And 27, so 273. Subtracting it, you have 2 left over. We're out of numbers, so we can't go any further. So your answer is 93 with a remainder of 2. Alright, and I'm sorry about the light. I don't really know what's going on right now. I'm trying to block it. So on letter E, it says to promote its opening weekend at a water park gave the local middle school 1,050 free tickets. The middle school has 350 students. Each student will receive the same number of tickets. How many tickets will each student receive? Okay, so this is a real life problem here, guys. So we have 1,050 free tickets. The middle school has 350 students. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1,050 divided by 350. So it doesn't go into 1, doesn't go into 0 or 10, doesn't go into 105. So we got to do the entire amount here. So if you look, 350 goes into 1,050 3 times. Well, that works out perfectly. So each student is going to receive 3 tickets. So that's just division again. Alright? And the last thing you will see is another story problem. Nothing changed here. It says the total number of seats in a college stadium is 54,912. There are 44 sections, and each section has an equal number of seats. How many seats are in each section? So you do the total amount divided by how many sections there are, and figure out how many seats there are. Well, in each section, after they did the division, they found that there's 1,248 seats in each section in this college stadium. Okay? So all you're doing here, guys, is division. Okay? So fill it out and just walk through the steps. Take your time. Do not rush through this, because if you make a simple mistake, it will throw your entire division problem off. Okay? There are IXLs along with this, so please go over to IXL and work on those as well.